With the end of first semester coming up, students must begin finding new housing options for next year. Unfortunately, affordable housing hasn't been the easiest thing to find for students, but new alternatives have come to the forefront. This is Kat Kelly. She's the founder of Win-Win Home Sharing, a new unconventional way for students to find housing.
Home sharing brings students who need affordable rooms to rent with seniors who need help around the house and of course want companionship.
My name is Darshan Jayadaran Arunan. Just call me in short, you can call me Darshan. And I'm from India and I'm doing my bachelor's in computer systems engineering here in Carleton, and I'm my second year. After a year of living in the place that I was first, I wanted to move out to a new place just because I wasn't too comfortable there because it was a basement room. There was not too much of sunlight coming in. It was cold, stuff like that. I was just not the most comfortable there, so I was like, I wanted to move out. And I started looking for other places. Honestly, the rent for that basement room was like quite cheap, so I was looking around the same price, and I could not find another place for a decent price, and I couldn't really afford to like have a place with a higher rent. So like I kept looking out for a room for like 4 months, and then I just didn't end up going like finding a decent one. So yeah, like I almost like gave up like after like 4 months. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to stay here, and that's when I found Win-Win.
Housing in Ottawa is not cheap. It's the fifth most expensive city to rent in, according to a report from the Centre for Canadian Policy Alternatives, published in July. The average cost of a two-bedroom unit in Ottawa is $1,301. This means that the average wage needed is $26 an hour in order to comfortably pay rent every month. If a person worked a full-time minimum wage job, they would have to work 75 hours a week in order to afford rent. Having only launched in the summer, Kat's team consists of a handful of members. They promote their company in places where potential clients may frequent.
We're really lucky. Matthias's father actually sits on the board of the Ottawa Little Theatre, and he just thought it would be the best opportunity to actually get to give us the time to speak to our demographic. It can be really hard to find specific people within the age range that we're looking for, which are seniors, right? So seniors and their children, and it's a place where families congregate. They love the Ottawa Little Theatre, so it was a big reason why the sponsorship there is important for us.
Living with seniors could have some challenges. There are potential trade-offs, as some homeowners may take issue to having visitors over.
It really depends on the senior you're living with too. Like the senior that I'm living with, she's not too keen about it, not too happy about it, but she's like, once in a while if you want it, you can bring people, like you can have friends over, I don't mind, but just let me know a little earlier and things like that. Me personally, I'm not a person who actually brings a lot of friends home or things like that. I rather just go outside and have a good time, maybe in a restaurant or something like that. So for me, it hasn't been that big a trade-off.
So we're here today at Carleton University to speak to students about affordable housing. We're going to ask them if they're willing to live in alternative housing arrangements in order to have a lower rent cost.
I've never considered it, but I was looking into moving out. I don't think I can afford it, so maybe if it's cheaper, I might consider it.
I think I would consider doing it because I really love elderly people, but at the same time, I also feel like if I did that, it would be taking away from like my student experience, if that makes sense, because I don't think elderly people really want younger people hanging out at their house.
I probably wouldn't prefer it. I do like living with my friends. I don't know what I really talk to with senior citizens. Like maybe like some like chat over coffee or tea. But like if I had to, like I would, right? But I mean, if I had the choice like living with friends and I had the money to do it, yeah, of course I would live with my friends.
I would definitely be interested in that. Yeah, it just sounds like a really cool and nice idea. And just to be living with somebody also that you can help out is pretty cool.
There's always going to be like the older generation, there's always going to be elderly people. And I feel like that's a good way to kind of help them with their life, with their daily struggles instead of, putting them in a home and, not giving them the attention they deserve,
Although some students feel like they'd miss out on important university experiences, Darshan has found guidance from the senior he lives with.
I've been living there for almost 3 months now, and it's been really good, honestly. So it's almost like you're living with almost like a family member, like a grandmother of some sort, because you're helping her out. She's helping, like, you're helping each other out in the end. Like she helps me out, and like she kind of gives me advice on a few things. I tell her about my life and things like that.
With over 78,000 students at Carleton and U Ottawa combined, the search for affordable housing will still continue. John Gallardo, The 25th Hour.